Today, I'm going to be talking about my brand new 2019 Honda CRF250L Rally Edition. I just purchased this bike yesterday, and today I'm taking it on my first trail ride. So I'm going to be giving my first impressions of the bike and what it's like going from a 650 to a 250. So I'll start by addressing the elephant in the room. And this was my main concern when buying a bike that's only 250 cc's. I weigh, in pounds, almost as many cc's as this bike has. That being the case, let's just call the acceleration underwhelming. But after my test drive, I went into the dealership to talk to the salesman. And he was actually working with someone else who was buying a Honda Grom. These are 125cc little mini motorcycles. And I realized that there's something really, really fun. Not about having all the power that you want, but more in using all the power that you have. I was also very worried about the rear shock. For this bike, it's pretty common knowledge that for anyone over 180 pounds, it's pretty soft. And it's pretty soft in general. The sag that it has when you first sit on it is very noticeable. So one of my first purchases, I assumed, would be a new rear shock in order to get a little bit of adjustment in the preload, and in order to stiffen things up a little bit, get something that is tuned to my weight. Unfortunately, with the price tag of $750 just for the rear shock, I decided this would be a maybe someday purchase. But this creates an issue. While the ground clearance on this bike is actually pretty good, most of it gets soaked up with the sag in the suspension when you sit on the bike. And with only a plastic bash plate from the factory, you've got to be careful about those rocks. At this point, I've got enough experience off-road, so I think I can detect these rocks before they become a problem and maneuver around them. But it is something to think about, and I will probably end up getting an aluminum bash plate very soon. Other must-haves for this bike include handguards. The stock ones just aren't going to protect the levers in case of a crash, and breaking that clutch lever is a great way to end your day prematurely. I also have a rear rack by SRC Moto on the way. This is going to give me a place to mount a rear tail bag and my side panniers. I really got used to packing heavy on the DR650 because I could, so I'm going to have to get used to packing a little bit lighter on this bike. One thing that I really like about the rack that I bought is that it has a place for a jerry can, so some added fuel storage, and that's going to allow me to go a little bit further. The mileage on this bike, I just filled it up. I'm getting about 66 miles per gallon. It's a 2-point-something gallon fuel tank, so I'm getting somewhere around 140 miles per tank. And while that's not bad, I would like to have a little bit in reserve just in case. because on the DR650 I had the larger fuel tank and I could go probably 250 miles. So one of the major differences I noticed between the 250 and the 650 is obviously going to be weight. But I didn't really realize what that weight meant for you when you were off-road. On the DR650, while having that much weight is kind of hard to get it to change direction, that meant more, instead of picking a line, I was picking a general direction, putting it in second gear, and then letting the bike just do all the work, and it would tractor itself over just about anything. With the 250, it's not as planted, it's not as direct. The rocks and the ruts and the sticks change direction of the bike quite a bit. So it's also a lot easier to maneuver, so I can actually pick my line through a set of rocks rather than just going for it. And it makes it a little bit more fun for me to be more in touch with the trail and to be able to drive the bike rather than just being along for the ride. The lower weight really inspired a lot more confidence off-road. If I needed to dab my foot, it's so much easier on the 250. With the 650, there's just so much weight and so much momentum behind it that dabbing was an emergency situation, and I was worried I was going to break my ankle. But on the 250, it's a lot more fun because you don't have that huge amount of weight and momentum behind the bike, and dabbing a foot really makes a big difference. So I didn't mind getting out of sorts a little bit in the mud because I knew I could recover that much easier. And speaking of recovery, that was one of my major issues with the 650 and its weight, was that I do a lot of exploring in places that I've never been, and I do it by myself. And I'm always very concerned that I'm going to get the 650 stuck in some kind of situation and I'm not going to be able to get it out. And these concerns have been pretty well founded over the years, as I have gotten stuck a couple of times and not been able to get the bike out by myself, and just out of sheer luck have had people come by who are able to help me and who are able to pull the bike out with me. And I'm not sure what I would have done in some of these situations if it weren't for just sheer luck. So with the 250, I'm not nearly as stressed out about those situations because I know I can manhandle the bike if I need to. And that just makes the entire ride more enjoyable. On this particular ride, I rode about twice as much as I normally would have on the DR650 because I was having more fun, it was less stressful, less fatiguing, and it was just all around a really great experience. So this is far from a comprehensive review of the bike. I've only got about 140 miles on it at this point. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of it. I really doubt I'll even have the DR650 out again. It is up for sale right now. So I hope you like this bike because it's going to be the feature in my videos from now on. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.